Right, I've done quite a few improvements of this model diesel engine starter. This is one that you might notice straight away here. Is where before you had to almost try and screw it in while the spring was in, and it was very fiddly with the spring almost being round here and one thing and another. I've got a screw in there now just to keep it. So it takes I think it's well, I'll talk about the sizes, a washer on there, but that basically goes in there, hooks, well, you screw it in once you put this in. I'll show you that, but I wanted to talk about the filament. I've got red PLA, see how glossy that is. Try and show you this one. I'm keeping this one. So blue as opposed to red. Blue is a little bit glossy-ish, but not as glossy as this red. And I found this red filament extremely adhered to the build plate, extremely. There's a big bump in there because when I've been screwing in there I've gone too deep. Because what I do is I drill out to 2.5, that is also drilled to 2.5, and then I force the bolt in. I use button head Allen bolts. In this case it's a flanged one. In these cases they're just normal button head ones. So that's one of the improvements. I've modified this slightly, like this is the Pawl shaft Pawl, put the name down below. That sort of clips in here, goes in there. I might even have to weaken this a little bit more, because the idea there is if the model diesel engine starts and you still got pressed on the model diesel engine, this is proper starter rubber, that this can still turn. I think that might be a little bit stiff still, so that might need modifying. When it obviously when it turns on the spring, it grips and turns it like this. So that's one of the modifications. I've deepened these to allow for things like that and other things, but mainly the depth there is to do with, I've made, well, I'll talk about the spring, this concertina spring here. I made this longer, so I've had to make this longer, but I've also made this whole top like taller up, so that will fasten on there like that, and it works very well. That clips in there, seems to be working. I haven't given it 10,000 unit tries, which really it needs, and it can also like move in and out when the ratchet pawl type thing here is going over it. So they're the main improvements. This goes on here like that. Pop that in there, I won't put it in for now, and then this has to go in there as you've seen in the other videos. So I'll put this together and I'll show you it working. So I'll put the spring in with the sort of keyhole, almost like a keyhole wedge shape there, over the hole in here. You might have to bend this a little bit, curve it round. I'll do that off camera because it's really fiddly, and then pop the screw in with the washer on. I'll show you that after it's done. So there we are. Don't forget the washer, because the washer, it can come over the like bolt head. Even I think a flanged one is it? Have a profile? Yes, that is a flanged button head Allen bolt. Because what I found is it's going to be easier. Make sure you have got this in here first, but put this on while the spring is out, and then like plug it into the part, because then you can open these coils a bit. These coils will bend a bit. don't worry, they will sort of bend back in shape as long as you don't bend them too much, because it's very difficult to get in with a screwdriver. Now I've put a magnet on there, neodymium magnet. I've also put a bit of blue tack on this bolt head. I tried to put a bit of blue tack between the bolt head and the washer as well, just a small amount. Let me get this up. Down on the floor, everything's like playing about the springs. Okay, and make sure that you're going to put this in the right way up. The shape of this part on here will help you, so that wants to be the same shape as the hole, which goes narrower at one side than the other. Hopefully you can see that, but at least now I can pop this on there, and the springs aren't, so there's a bit more of a gap here to get in with the screw, the bolt. It's gone on the floor though. Right, I'll find that and I'll come back. So there we are. So it's a bit easier to get in. Well, it's like this, and then I'm going to wind this into here and get this round. Pushing it down and in with the thumb. It's like the thumb here. Gradually feeding it in. I'm just pushing it down a bit with this thumb, pushing it in as I turn the body of this part round. Just a minute, it's getting caught down here. Yeah. Be careful with springs because it can contain an awful lot of potential energy, so keep hold of it at all times, especially once they're wound up. They can be dangerous even. This has quite bluntish edges, so it's not too bad. We'll talk about this spring on this video. So just been continuing on, as I showed you earlier on, feeding that in there. Now, see this centre one wants to go. See, that's almost latched into there in my case. This spring has been used quite a bit for other tests. Get that into the hole here. Okay, this doesn't matter too much, but we can turn that round. Or these bigger holes in here are to give you a bit of movement when it's fastened together. These holes here, like a bit bigger diameter, give you a little bit of flexibility when you're putting it together. Keep hold of it, because that spring has still a lot of potential energy in that spring, even though it's not wound up. Put the top on. I'll bolt this together and then I'll come back. So just show you that. No real significance in the red. I just ran out of blue and I didn't have any blue left off the seller off of eBay that I want to buy it off. But as I say, this really adhered to the bed extreme. Right, there we are. Put the 4 bolts in. I would say keep this held together while you're bolting it in, otherwise that spring might sort of push out and push the parts apart. Just snug it up, line these like up with your fingers, and then tighten up the 4 balls. So the button, now I can slide this like slide button over. That clicks in there out the way so that it can turn, then release it like that. That works a lot better than having this longer sort of concertina type spring in there. It seems to work a lot better. So I would say turn it like this way round, clockwise when you're looking at this way, so that it, as you're putting it on, now it might spring a bit, but that's so that it will click on those like 2 pawl arms. Otherwise if you're pushing it on it might break off. I would say put this on last, this part. I've had to take the rubber out. This is just a standard starting rubber for model diesel engine that fits in there nice and snug. Couple of, well, 3 of the grips on there, as you can see. Going 3 of the notches sort of on the starting rubber, so that is replaceable if you need to. Then put the 4mm with 2 washers on each one, plastic washers on each one, in each side. I'll do the back one first, just a second, just move these over a bit. I'll do that off camera, but you get basically these ones, and I've got 2 washers there on each sort of 4mm button head, flanged, as you can probably see there, that is flanged Allen balls. So there's the first one in. Just make it sure that the washers can turn, but quite snug there. That washer can, well, those 2 washers can turn a bit. I think just notice that that is turning. Okay, need to do the one on here. Probably going to have to use some blue tack to reach down in there on my Allen screwdriver. So as I suggested, this one's putting on last. Well, I found out I've had to take this off just so I can get in here a bit easier and screw this bolt into this hole. I'll do that off camera. There we are. Again, snugged up, but allowing the washer to, well, the 2 washers to rotate. You probably do a bit of oil on. Oh, by the way, there is a hole in here to oil it. Put a bit of oil in there every so often. There's another hole somewhere. I'm sure there is. You know what? I can't remember where I put it. It was for the top part. Anyway, these are drilled to 3.5, the hole there, or 3.2 if you have one. And then I force the bolt in, I take the bolt out, that cuts the threads PLA, and then I actually put the bolt in to be used. I do the same in all my things. These are 3mm, all button head, these are flanged. Something's stopping that going for. Oh, I haven't pressed the button, that's why. This like safety button. There we go. Silly boy. Now, that was just turning on the ratchet. Right, so wind it up. 6 to 8 turns is enough. I'm not going to do that many. As long as you feel it getting tight and stop. And when you actually do it, pull this all the way so that that latches in there. Like so. And that keeps the pawl from banging against the ratchet spinning round. There's awful lot of power in there. Again, press the button when you're finished. You press it like that. It's easy enough. I haven't got that on. You see that that is moving on the ratchet. Well, once to be able to turn like that way when you're not winding it up, when it's sort of free to move. It's getting a little bit tight, but I think it could do a lot more. So ready, let's show you from this direction. A lot of power in there. Now at the moment, if you download these files, this will only fit on like one way round because the holes aren't totally in line. Again, these are 3.5 holes screwed in with 4mm balls. I'll put that on and I'll come back and show you it sort of complete, because you probably want to see that. So when you're putting in these balls, you probably want one of these sort of longer ones. See, this won't fit in there. Oops. So put a bit of blue tack on there, pop it in there, get that somewhere near snug. Again, this needs lining up the right way around at the moment. I haven't got these 4 holes perfectly symmetrical. So I'll continue on putting that on, tighten it up and show you it. Right, there we are. Just pop this in, line up the notches with the grooves. It's a good snug fit, this, and it just comes out, I'm unsure about how far I want it to come out, but I mean that, I think that's okay, that amount. That grips in there very well. There's a look round. Danger, because anything forward of this is like potential the model diesel engine. Wind it up. Make sure this is zoomed out. Wind it up. Oh, good 8 turns, I think. Are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's a hell of a lot of power in that. Hell of a lot of energy. Oh yes, I have to remember to release this button there. So that's, you know, there's been quite a few minor improvements. So you put that on the model diesel engine, keep your fingers behind here, pull that over so that that latches on. Then when you're finished, take that off and you can use it again. No batteries needed. It's a clockwork spring. Right, let me do this from the front. There we are. That works well. Now this needs actual testing, but I think it should work. I can't see why it shouldn't work. There's no really major improvements. These holes could do with like symmetrical lining up, these 4 holes here for this top part here. Or there is a sort of groove in there so you can wrap a cord round or a band round if you're doing model boats or something like that. Yep, that's good. That spring seems to work alright, but I don't know with PLA over time if this will lose its springiness, this spring. I have a feeling it might, but we'll have to see about that. There's a good look round. See that is glossier than the blue, this red. I would have liked this part to be in red, but I don't want to be with, using up too much of my filament, so red for danger, that side. Okay.